Welcome back to MKE Gadgets. Today we're going to repair a speed handle for a Bridgeport Mill. So this is the original handle for a Bridgeport Mill. Very robust, very heavy duty. To reposition the handle kind of takes a little bit of time. I bought 3 of these speed handles from a guy selling some used tools, and they're all broken. And I thought, well, one of these I can fix for my mill. I got a pretty good price on them. I got a friend I'm going to give the other one to. There's supposed to be a pin in here. You can see in the original one, there's a pin. In this one, the pin broke off. And you can see in there, the head of the pin. Over years of use, the pin just broke. So what I have to do is make a new pin. Let's take this apart and look inside. The cap is held on by 2 flathead cap screws. I'm just going to take that off. Got to be careful because I feel a spring in there. A little spring tension. Take out 1 screw. Take out the 2nd screw. Remove the cap. And there's a spring in the handle. Set that aside. And now we're going to remove the broken pin. The pin really should be sticking out here. And here it comes out. It's got a spring. It's got a spring that retracts it. So if you look closely at it, you can see what's been broken. So today we're going to make a new pin like this, except for one that's a little bit longer and one that's not broken. Like most of my projects, I like to go into Fusion 360, make a model, and then make a drawing. Now I have to make some assumptions here of the size of this pin. I can always shorten it, but I can't make the pin longer, and I'd have to start over. I think this pin has a ground finish, which I can't do. It also looks like it's been heat treated. 2 things that I don't have the capability in my shop. But I do have some drill rod, some W1 drill rod, 5/16, and a piece of W1 drill rod, 3/16. I'm gonna go over my lathe, I'm gonna make a washer. That's the same size as his head. Drill it, ream it, 1 thou oversized 3/16, and use this for the shaft of the pin. This is 3/16. Press it into the head, and then machine it to length. For this work, let's go over to the lathe and start turning. The overall length of this pin is 1 inch, 290 thousandths. With my caliper set there, I bring my cutoff blade right to the edge of it, and that will be where I cut it off. Now this is a pretty easy project. I'll cut this off about 1/3 of the way. I'll back off the bit, and I'll come with a file and break any burrs on that edge. On the pin, I got a little tip on there. I'll take that to the belt grinder when we're all done and remove that. But this is very hot. I got to set this down. I switched over to my 5/16 stock, number 3 center drill, and then I'm going to drill with a number 16 drill that has a diameter of 170 thousandths, and then I'm going to ream it with a 186 reamer. And that's 1 thou under 3/16, the diameter of the pin. First, we center drill. So the head of the pin is 100 thousandths. Set my caliper to that. I'll touch my tool to the blade of the caliper. And that looks like 100 thousandths. I'll go in a little ways. I'll back it out and I'll deburr the front and the side of the groove with a file. And there's the head of our pin. It's pretty hot. I'll let it cool off. I'll remove that burr and then we press it together. So before I cut it off, I filed a little chamfer on both ends. And that gives me a little, I can kind of press it together a little bit. I still have that tip on there. That's why I'm pressing into a piece of wood. I'll deburr that on the belt grinder. And here we go, we press it home. Off camera, I'll take it over to the belt grinder and we'll take that little tip off. This is the broken off original pin, and here's the one I made. You can see the difference. I don't know how long this one's gonna last, but I have plenty of material to fix it if it breaks off again. Let's do an assembly. Put the spring on. Sit into the body of the quick release. The handle comes over the pin we just made. And the spring goes on. And then the cover. Just gotta tighten these two screws up. Okay. And it retracts. The pin retracts. You think it would stick out a little more than that, but I guess not. Let's go to Bridgeport Mill. We'll put the original one on. I'll show you how it works. And then we'll put a new modified one on, and I'll show you how that works. To the Bridgeport Mill. So at the Bridgeport Mill, you can see the handle and the quill. Let's come in a little closer. Depends on the size of the tool you're using. You usually want to push down, like in a drill press. You don't want to be drilling and pushing up. You lose strength and it's awkward. So what you do at that point, you pull this off and you reposition it so you can get it to the downstroke. And sometimes if you have 3 different tools or 3 different drills, you're repositioning this a lot. It's fairly easy to do, but not when you have this one in there. Slide it on, and you have a little set screw, and you just tighten it a very little bit so it doesn't come off, but it rotates. So if you look here, line here, so you can see it. So as you're drilling, and you run out of travel, and now you're going on the upstroke, you pull the handle and you rotate it, and you put the pin in there, and you can continue drilling. You never want to run the mill or store it with the handle looking right at you, because you're going to hit this in your head. Ask anybody who ran at Bridgeport how they know that. So I always like to start a handle at 12 o'clock. Now I can do my milling, and when I want to come down and drill, I use the quill, and it's really nice and easy. I think this project turned out pretty good. It works as it's supposed to. I already had the material. I got the handles relatively cheap. I know what you're thinking. Geez, I don't have a Bridgeport Mill, and I don't have a need for a quick indexing quill handle. But this project is more about finding something that's broken and figuring out how to repair it. If you see something that's broken, how do you fix it? How do you take it apart? How do you reverse engineer it? That's what this project is about. I challenge you to find something broken and fix it. Put down in the comments if that's what you have done in the past. It's very rewarding, and that's why I have a shop full of tools to fix my other tools and make projects and make videos. Thank you for viewing, and please share this with your friends. Please subscribe if you haven't. I appreciate your support. Thanks. We'll see you tomorrow.